How to become an irresistible woman. 10 powerful shifts that change everything. Most women think becoming irresistible is about beauty, confidence tricks, perfect photos, or learning how to keep someone's attention. That is exactly where they lose their power. Because the women, people never forget, usually have something deeper. You cannot always explain it. You just feel it. They walk into a room without performing. They speak without chasing approval. They do not look exhausted from trying to be enough for everyone around them. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Many women spend years trying to be chosen, while the truly irresistible woman is busy becoming someone she would choose herself. So what creates that kind of presence? It is not manipulation. It is not cold behavior. It is not pretending not to care. It is something far more difficult. It begins when a woman stops building her identity around attention, validation, and fear of being ignored. In this video, you will discover what silently destroys feminine magnetism, why so many women lose themselves trying to be loved, and how to develop a presence that cannot be manufactured. Because becoming irresistible starts in the one place most people avoid looking: inside yourself. The woman who stops chasing validation becomes dangerously memorable. There is a question almost nobody asks themselves honestly. Who would you be if nobody was watching? No likes, no compliments, no messages, no one choosing you. Would you still know your value? Many women are not living from identity. They are living from reaction, adjusting their personality, appearance, opinions, and emotional limits just to maintain acceptance. And slowly, without noticing, they disappear inside the version of themselves that receives approval. But something changes when a woman stops asking, "How do I make people want me?" and starts asking, "Why am I abandoning myself to be wanted?" That question changes everything. Because validation feels good, it feels safe, it feels temporary. But building your worth on external attention creates emotional hunger that can never be fully satisfied. And the most magnetic women are not the women who receive the most validation. They are the women who no longer depend on it. But there is a hidden trap that keeps many women stuck in this cycle, even when they know it is hurting them. The addiction to being needed destroys feminine magnetism. Many women believe they are loving, when deep down, they are terrified of not being needed. So they become the helper, the fixer, the one who understands too much, forgives too fast, gives too much. They answer immediately. They carry emotional weight that was never theirs. They confuse exhaustion with loyalty, and because nobody taught them the difference between love and emotional overfunctioning, they keep proving their value through sacrifice. But listen carefully. Being needed is not the same as being cherished. A woman loses part of her magnetism when her entire identity depends on saving people, holding broken situations together, or making herself useful enough to deserve permanence. Real presence is not built through emotional servitude. It is built when a woman learns to say, "My worth does not increase because I overgive, and it does not decrease because I set boundaries." That shift feels uncomfortable at first, because when you stop overextending yourself, silence appears, distance appears, truth appears. And many women discover something frightening in that silence. They do not actually fear being alone. They fear meeting the version of themselves that exists without constant emotional noise. The quiet power of a woman who learned to be okay alone. Most people think being alone is the problem. It is not. The real problem is what loneliness forces you to face when the distractions disappear. No messages lighting up your phone. No emotional chaos demanding your attention. No one giving you temporary proof that you matter. Just you. And for many women, that silence feels unbearable. Not because they are weak, but because they built their sense of worth around being chosen, pursued, needed, or emotionally occupied. That is why some people stay in situations that drain them. Not because they are happy there, but because emptiness feels more frightening than misalignment. But something powerful happens when a woman stops running from her own company. She begins to hear herself clearly. Her standards become stronger. Her decisions become calmer. Her presence changes. Because a woman who can sit with herself without panic becomes harder to manipulate, harder to rush, and impossible to control through fear of abandonment. That kind of strength cannot be faked, and this is exactly where a rare quality begins to emerge. A quality nobody teaches, but everyone notices the moment it enters a room. Presence, the invisible quality that makes people feel your value before you speak. Have you ever met someone who walked into a room and changed the atmosphere without saying much? Not louder, not more beautiful, not more dramatic, just impossible to ignore. That is presence. And most people misunderstand where it comes from. Presence is not created by perfect makeup, seductive behavior, or carefully rehearsed confidence. It comes from internal alignment. When a woman's words match her boundaries, when her energy is not desperate for approval, when she is no longer fighting herself behind the scenes, people feel that. A woman with presence does not need to convince everyone she is valuable. She carries herself like someone who already knows. She listens without shrinking, speaks without over-explaining, walks without silently begging to be noticed. And the truth is, presence grows in the moments nobody sees, in the private decisions, in the healing, in the standards you keep even when loneliness tempts you to lower them. But there is one final shift that transforms presence into something even more powerful. Because the truly irresistible woman stops chasing one thing most people spend their lives trying to obtain. When a woman stops trying to be irresistible, she becomes it. This may be the truth nobody tells you. The harder you try to be irresistible, the easier it becomes to lose yourself. Because obsession with being desired creates performance. You start monitoring your words, your body language, your responses, your image. Everything becomes a strategy to secure attention, affection, or emotional safety. But real magnetism does not grow from performance. It grows from self-respect. Something changes when a woman stops waking up asking, "How do I make someone choose me?" and starts asking, "Am I choosing the life, the standards, and the version of myself I actually deserve?" That question creates a different kind of woman. A calmer woman, a clearer woman, a woman who no longer mistakes attention for love, pursuit for commitment, or validation for identity. And ironically, that is often the moment her presence becomes unforgettable. Not because she mastered manipulation, not because she became emotionally unavailable, but because she stopped abandoning herself to be accepted. At the end of the day, the most irresistible woman in the room is rarely the one trying hardest to be seen. She is the one who remembered who she was before the world taught her to doubt her own worth.